What defines the nature of a relationship? Is it love, trust, or consent? Let's take a moment to ponder on these questions. Relationships in their essence are a complex web of emotions, actions, and expectations. But amid all these complexities, there are certain non-negotiables that should lay the foundation of every relationship: love, trust, and above all, consent. Today we share a tale that echoes the unsettling experiences of many. This is the story of a woman who has been in relationships with 3 different men, each with a common thread of discomfort and pushiness regarding intimacy. Her first relationship, like many firsts, was a journey of discovery and, unfortunately, discomfort. The man she was with was persistent about physical intimacy, to the point where she began to feel uncomfortable. The second relationship she hoped would be different. Yet, the same pattern emerged. The man was pushy about sex, often making her feel uneasy. Her current relationship, her third one, started off on a promising note. The man was considerate and understanding, or so it seemed. But as time passed, the same issues started creeping in. The man began to become pushy about sex, often guilt-tripping her when she expressed her discomfort. His actions ranged from questioning her affection for him to physically moving her hand onto his body, even after she had clearly expressed her unwillingness. This woman often found herself wondering, is this normal? Is she right in feeling uncomfortable and violated? Shouldn't relationships be devoid of such pushiness? It's important to note here that she wasn't refusing to be intimate with him altogether. She was merely expressing her discomfort at particular moments, which he chose to ignore, often making her feel guilty instead. Uncomfortable situations and pushiness, a common thread in all these relationships. Let's dissect this further. Let's explore the nature of consent, respect, and the role they play in defining the nature of a relationship. The first 2 relationships had their share of discomfort, but the third relationship seemed different, at least initially. He was respectful, considerate, and seemed to value her feelings. It was the kind of relationship that seemed to promise a refreshing change from the past. But as time passed, a familiar pattern began to emerge. This seemingly perfect guy started becoming pushy about sex. It was subtle at first. A nudge here, a suggestive comment there. But soon these advances became more frequent, more insistent. It seemed like every time she said no, he would respond with a guilt-tripping comment. "Why don't you want to touch me anymore?" he'd ask. "You don't touch me enough," he'd complain. These remarks, always delivered right after she'd rejected an advance, were hard to ignore. And it wasn't just about the words. There were actions too. Like that time when he moved her hand over to his privates. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, even after she'd pulled her hand away. It was as if he was trying to guilt her into giving him head. Now it's not like she didn't pleasure him. She did. But these guilt-tripping tactics, this constant pushiness, it felt like a violation of her boundaries, a disregard for her feelings. And the worst part, he never brought up these issues as a serious topic, something they could talk about, work on together. No, it was always in the heat of the moment, right after she'd rejected an advance. The issue here is not just about sex, but about respect and understanding. It's about acknowledging and respecting each other's boundaries, about understanding each other's needs and desires, and it's about communication, about having open and honest discussions about these issues. But is she alone in feeling this way? She reached out to the online community, looking for answers, validation, and advice. And the response was overwhelming. The digital landscape teemed with voices, each offering their own perspective on her situation. One voice rose from the crowd, a voice of reason saying, "You're right, this isn't okay. Anyone who cares about you won't be pushy or guilt-trip you." This sentiment was echoed by many others, all affirming the importance of respect and understanding in a relationship. Another commenter chimed in with, "It's okay to not have similar sex drives and find someone that matches you better." They highlighted the importance of compatibility, a factor often overlooked, but one that plays a crucial role in the health of a relationship. A third voice offered a male perspective, urging her to never let men pressure her into doing something she doesn't want to. This comment underlined the importance of consent, a cornerstone of every healthy relationship. The conversation took a turn, as another commenter suggested that the relationship was incompatible due to mismatched sexual desires. This sparked a debate, with some arguing for compatibility and others asserting that no amount of compatibility could justify pressuring someone into sex. One voice stood out declaring, "You don't ever owe anyone sex." This powerful statement served as a reminder that sex should never be used as a bargaining chip or a tool for manipulation. The discourse continued, with some arguing that she was leading men on by weaponizing sex, while others encouraged her to find a man who would respect her boundaries. These diverse perspectives painted a complex picture, reflecting the multifaceted nature of relationships. But amidst the chatter, a clear consensus emerged. No one should feel pressured or guilt-tripped into sex. The community has spoken and the consensus is clear. No one should feel pressured or guilt-tripped into sex, but how does she move forward? Breaking a pattern requires strength and sometimes a little bit of guidance. It's a journey of self-discovery and standing up for oneself. And in this journey, one of the most crucial steps is recognizing when boundaries are being crossed and when manipulation is at play. In this narrative, the pattern that needs breaking involves pushy behavior and disregard for personal comfort. It's a hard truth to swallow, but the reality is, not everyone will respect your boundaries. However, it's equally important to remember that this isn't a reflection of your worth, but rather a reflection of their lack of empathy and understanding. In the face of such behavior, it's vital to set firm boundaries. You have the right to say no, to feel comfortable, and to not be guilt-tripped into anything you don't want to do. It's not about being difficult or stubborn. It's about respecting your own comfort and well-being. As some of our commenters rightly pointed out, it's also important to look for someone who respects your boundaries. Not someone who just pretends to, but someone who genuinely understands and honors your comfort. This isn't about finding a person who is perfect in every way, but about finding someone who treats you as an equal, who understands that a relationship is about mutual respect and understanding. And yes, compatibility matters, especially when it comes to things like intimacy. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. Everyone has different needs and comfort levels, and it's crucial to find a partner who is compatible with you, who understands and respects these differences. Remember, you don't owe anyone anything. You have the right to prioritize your comfort over someone else's desires. And anyone who tries to manipulate or guilt-trip you into thinking otherwise is not respecting you as an individual. It's not about finding the perfect person, but about finding someone who respects you as an individual. So, where does this leave us, in terms of understanding relationships and consent? We've journeyed through a confounding maze of emotions, expectations, and experiences, and emerged with a few undeniable truths. Firstly, consent is foundational in any relationship. It is not a one-time agreement, but a continuous dialogue, a mutual understanding that respects each person's autonomy and comfort. No one should ever feel pressured or guilt-tripped into sex. If no is not respected, if boundaries are repeatedly crossed, it's a glaring red flag that should never be ignored. Secondly, respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. It is not only about treating each other kindly, but also about acknowledging and honoring each other's boundaries, needs, and feelings. A person who truly cares for you will never resort to manipulation or coercion. They will value your comfort and your choices, and they will never make you feel guilty for saying no. Thirdly, understanding is key. It's about recognizing and accepting that not everyone has the same sex drive. It's about realizing that it's perfectly okay if your partner is not in the mood when you are, and vice versa. It's about appreciating the fact that love is not about fulfilling your desires at the expense of your partner's comfort. Lastly, a relationship is not a transaction. No one owes sex in exchange for dates, gifts, or any other form of payment. Love is not a commodity to be bought and sold. It's a feeling, a connection, a bond that should be nurtured with kindness and respect, not exploited for personal gain. In conclusion, it's crucial to remember that everyone deserves a relationship that is built on mutual respect, understanding, and consent. You have the right to say no, and anyone who truly cares for you will respect that. So never let anyone make you feel otherwise. Remember, a healthy relationship is built on respect and understanding, not manipulation and guilt trips.
While sex is indeed crucial to any healthy relationship, men should always ensure that they are not too pushy for sex because a lot of messed up situations can result from it. However, ladies, do not weaponize sex against your boyfriend. If it is a case where you have not been giving him any sex for an extended period of time, do not be surprised if that man goes out and cheats. I am not saying it is right for him to do so. However, the truth is, sex is a biological need, for men more than women, So while women love sex more, men oftentimes want sex more than women. Think of it as a love language where men value physical touch and women value emotional connection through intimacy. Again guys, if she says no, leave her alone until she is ready or find someone else if you are not sexually compatible. Do not make your girlfriend uncomfortable by being too pushy for sex. Additionally, lovers, if you are not physically attracted to someone, do not get into a relationship with them because physical attraction is a key part of a healthy relationship as a component of sexual attraction. Anyway guys, thank you for watching the video to this point. Please, do me a solid and smash the subscribe button for more Reddit stories like this one. Also, let me know if you've ever been in a situation like this and what did you do? Catch you in the next one. Love.